Hello, my name is Ghinaglia and I will talk about workgroups and inventory systems. Let's remember what a group is. A group is defined by two or more interactive individuals who perform to achieve a common goal or a common task. There are two kinds of groups. The formal and the informal. The formal are the ones the ones we see in companies, organizations, or something like that. And the informal are the ones like friends or people who share same interests like books, movies, sports, and stuff like that. The group development comes in stages. These ones are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. The forming stage is when the group members know each other for the first time, and they also know the common goal or the task they have to achieve together. Then we pass through the storming, where the conflict starts. But normally, sooner than later, when the groups adapt and all individuals know their place, the storming ends and we pass to a norming phase. The norming phase, the group becomes cohesive and they start to work. They work in the performing stage. The work starts and they complete the task. So we can go to the adjourning phase or stage where the group disbands. Let's talk about group structures. This is defined by roles, norms, conformity, status systems, group cohesiveness, group size, and the leadership. The roles are the behavioral patterns expected of someone in a position of a group. Norms are are the rules of the group. They can be implicit or explicit. Something like we start working at 8 a.m. or maybe we need to have a dress code, like a uniform for the group, something like that. Conformity, we need to be a little bit specific because the human is very susceptible to conformity. Most of the time are for fear of being against your group members. Maybe you are right, or maybe is something wrong in the group, but you normally conform with them, so there is no conflict between. The status system is an important factor in groups. The prestige, the position, or maybe ranks are factors that influence in the development of a group. When we talk about group size, we can resume all of this in two types of groups: small size groups or large size groups. The small size normally are faster and concise with the results of the goal they have to achieve, but they close each other. They have limited points of view about the problem. But if you need it fast, a small group is better. Large size are slower, but they see the big picture better than the small size. Then we can talk about group cohesiveness. This is the way of a group member to bond with each other. Normally, a great cohesiveness between group members will result in a great work groups. But now let's talk a little bit about inventory systems. The inventory systems has critical elements for being good. We need these elements. They are super important, and they are well-organized location names. You need to know where to put your inventory, how to organize the materials in your company. That's why we need well-organized location names. We need food, or maybe paper, or maybe tools, and everything has to be well organized. Location labels. The location labels are essential tools to find an item in your inventory or your warehouse. They have to be specific and unambiguous. Item numbers. The item numbers are very important. We can say a lot with item numbers, like what is the color, or maybe the size of something, and it can be in an alphanumerical code or number. Now, units of measure. The unit of measure is the way you measure your items. Maybe you have a dozen of X, or maybe you have one pair of shoes, or maybe you have 10 cell phones in your inventory. You have to know what your units of measure are. This is very important. A good starting count. If we get to a warehouse where the starting count is lost, we will never know how much items we have or of something until we get everything out and we start counting again. It's very important to maintain and to have a good starting count. We can also use software. Special software for inventory are great, but if you don't follow the other critical elements, you will have a lot of problems. Good policies. We need to follow good policies about how to manage the items in the inventory. Let's say we have an arrival from raw materials, so we need to measure everything to have an space for those raw materials, separate them. We need to know what are like the rules of manage that raw material. Those are the good policies. They have to be very good and very specific, so we don't find problems in the future. And we need employees, people who follows all the elements we mentioned, because without good employees, nothing of this will maintain for long, and one person can do all the job. We need a very good team in a warehouse to maintain the inventory systems.